Hey there guys, welcome back to my channel, Crafty Concepts with Erin. Today I had the Party Girl scrapbooking workshop from Close to My Heart here to share with you. Now, Close to My Heart is going to put this workshop together on April 30th and May 1st. They'll have a Facebook virtual event, so that is going to be tons of fun if you want to follow along and do the workshop, which I'll show you those layouts here in a moment. You can see this comes with the blush shimmer ribbon. It's like a satin ribbon, and this super cute D-size Party Girl stamp set. Now I'm going to create my own 12 by 12 layout with this set today, and I just can't wait to use that little party girl image there. She's just so cute. Along with this kit, you get the glitter die cuts. So it's hard to see from the glittery side, but if you flip it over, you can see there's the pre-cut die like titles and the different shapes, and you just pop these out. So you can see here's a little heart, and it's got that fantastic glitter sparkle to it. I'll show you on the back. You can see it says happy birthday, celebrate, party, and lots of different shapes. So those are super fun. Now, if you already know what's in this kit, you can skip ahead to about 2 minutes and 20 seconds where I get started on my scrapbook layout. But if not, check out that shine. All of these have like this rose gold foil finish. And as you can see, there's the pattern paper with the foiling and then a coordinating solid sheet of cardstock in the same color. And then we get to this one here and it has a little bit different pattern. It's hard to appreciate that foiling on camera, but it is stunning. So, and then you can see there's just, like I said, each color with a solid cardstock sheet to go with it. You also get 7 sheets of white daisy cardstock to complete the layouts, and you even get the page protectors, top loading page protectors. So here's the first layout that they have pre-designed for you, and then this is a double page layout. So this is the second one, super cute. I think that's my favorite. This is the third layout, also double page. I know so many of you love the double page layouts, and then the fourth layout is also double. So lots of good stuff here. I'm going to go ahead and get started with mine, and I'm using my VersaMat, and I have this photo of my husband and I. We were all dressed up in our costume at a party, and I thought this is going to be fun because, you know, it's kind of a party girl theme, and we were at a party, so it's perfect. And so I'm starting with this sheet of pattern paper here in the Glacier. We've laid down the solid cardstock, and then I've cut a 5-inch strip of that foiled pattern paper. And I'm sliding a piece of black cardstock under either side just to kind of border that and give it some definition between the solid and the pattern sheet. Now I know I want to use that word celebrate that I popped out of this die cut sheet, but I'm not quite sure how I want that oriented yet. So I thought I'd start with my stamping. I'm going to use these little party embellishments here. I've got them mounted all on one block because I'm going to stamp them down and then cut them out. I have a sheet of ballerina cardstock, and I'm going to ink these up with just my regular black ink, get them nice and inky, and stamp down, give it a good press, and let's see, looks perfect. So we are going to fussy cut those images out, but first I'm going to stamp this party girl here. Now I'm using my stamp positioner because I'm using my intense black ink and it's a little bit dry. I definitely need to get a re-inker. So I want to make sure I get a good stamped impression. So using my stamping platform will let me stamp or re-ink and stamp twice if I need to. So we're giving it a good press, walking my fingers all over it, and it looks okay, but there's a few little patchy areas. So I'm just making sure it's lined up in the corner, and I'll give that a second coat of ink. I'm using my intense black ink because I am going to do some coloring. We're also doing paper piecing on this little stamped image here. So I want her dress to be out of this same peach paper with that foiling detail. So I'm using my intense black ink, and because it's foiling, you want to use intense black. Your regular ink will not stick to the foil, and you don't want that to smear. So I just inked up where her dress is because that's the only part we need on this paper. And you'll see how cool this is going to be. Now they need to dry before we start coloring on them. So I'll set those aside and fussy cut these little party, I don't know what you'd call them. Like they're not lanterns, but you know, something you just kind of hang and they'd be festive and colorful at a party. So I'm quickly going around. I'll do the first one here with you and then the rest I'll do off camera. But it's super easy. Just kind of go around in a circle. I'm just loosely following those jagged edges and it looks great. So you can see I did the rest off camera and now this is dry. So we're going to cut out her dress. Now I want to get this pretty close and then we'll just cut along here and we don't need to worry about her arms or anything like that. We just want the dress. You could definitely color in her dress, but I thought it would be fun to add this foiled paper. So we're going to do the paper piecing. I keep wanting to say paper piercing. So for our little party girl here, we're going to give her some color. I'm using the Fair Skin and I'm using the lightest color of the Fair Skin marker and I'm just kind of color in her legs and her arm and the back of her neck. And you do want to be careful. Our intense black ink is alcohol marker friendly. You need to make sure that it's dry before you color it. And I still like to avoid the, the black. I don't, I try to keep it within the lines just to be extra careful. So I guess I'm kind of customizing this girl to look like me. It just seemed like the logical thing to do. So I used the Fair Skin and now I'm using the medium coral shades marker to give her red hair. But that's what's fun about this image is you can customize her to have any hair color, any skin tone, and we can customize her dress to match our project. So it's really fun to color in these stamped images. I said coral shades, but it is in fact the coral blend. And now I'm going to color the ribbon in her hair black, and then her high heels will be black also because I want to bring more black into this layout. So that's why I chose to accent her accessories in this color. So this photo is of my husband and I, and we're at a New Year's Eve party, but it was a really fun party because they had a costume theme. You had to come as, you could come as anything. It wasn't like a 50s party. That's just what we chose. So my husband's kind of like a 50s style gangster and I'm like flapper girl, and it was just really fun. We threw our costumes together at the last minute and they actually turned out kind of cool, I thought. I like that the party was an eclectic costume theme because it was really funny. Some of our friends went in their like 80s prom outfits, so like their prom attire from high school that they still managed to hang on to and fit into, and it was hilarious. We don't get to dress up in costumes very often, so it was super fun. So here our little party girl is complete. You can see I've laid that fussy cut dress on top, just like a paper doll. It's really fun. So I went ahead off camera and cut her out, and then we can just line up her dress, and it looks really cool. So we're ready to start embellishing our layout, and I'm going to create kind of a swoopy banner with these little party embellishments here, and I kind of want them going, in one swag and then a second swag. So I'm just roughly placing these, and then we'll bring in the stamping to tie them all together. I got this idea from one of the layout designs, but you see this little dotted arc here. So I already have that mounted on a block, and I'm using my regular black ink, and we'll just get this good and inky. And then I will stamp it going from the left up to the top of the page there. So just like this. So we're making like a string for our little party embellishments to hang from. So I wanted this a little bit lower, so it didn't quite reach the end of the page, and that's not a big deal. I'll take my fine-tipped black marker and just extend the dots, and no one will ever know. I could have tried to line up the stamp, but with such a small area, just putting the marker dots made sense to me. So we'll hang these like they're attached to the string, just like so. And then I want to do my second swag and over the top of the other three. So this one I want a little bit higher because I want to vary the heights of these. So we'll stamp that just like that. And there, perfect. So we'll hang this guy up higher. So we have this kind of swooping look going across the top of our page. So we want to add more to our banner embellishment here. There's this little flourish, kind of swirly, and a kind of a starburst here. I already have them mounted on blocks, and I'm using the same black ink. We'll just add a few here and there, filling in the empty spots, and just kind of adding a little something something to this banner. Super cute. And then this little black swirl, kind of like a streamer hanging down. We'll put this guy right here, and I'm going to repeat one on the other side as well. I think right about there. And there, I think that looks cool. So I'm looking at my title and it's bothering me. I just don't like the feel of the layout. So while I'm kind of mulling it over, I'll tack her dress down into place. And I'm thinking maybe instead of horizontal, I will run this vertical along the side of my picture. And yeah, that looks a lot better. I want to add some color behind my photo. This is a picture of my life card from a special coming up in May. And then I have black and that same paper with the rose gold foiling on it that we cut the dress out of. So I want those just kind of like you stacked them together and laid them down. So they're just kind of, you know, randomly stacked behind my photo. I want my photo straight up and down, so it kind of goes along with that title. But to get the title to stand out a little more, I had this idea to add some white daisy ink, just a little kind of halo of white behind the word celebrate. This is a pigment ink, so it has kind of a paint-like property to it, and it sits on top of the paper as opposed to like an alcohol dye-based ink. So that's really because white would just soak in and you wouldn't see it. So I'm laying my word celebrate down to see how long I need this, and I'm just kind of pouncing and rubbing in circles and just building up that color. You know, you can layer it for more intensity. It does need to dry. So I did step away and let that dry for just a bit. And I'm going to bring it back in next to my photo. Off camera, I did stamp a little cocktail glass. You can pick different elements to put in her hand. There's a balloon, a candy apple, all sorts of different things she could be holding. But since it's New Year's Eve party, I thought a cocktail glass would be appropriate. And now I'm going to add these glitter hearts. I think I'm going to put 2 up there and then 1 at the base of the title. I definitely want to add some embellishment. I don't know what that is. I don't want to add that. I'm going to add some dimension. I think embellishment is a cross between dimension and embellishments. I'm going to roll with that. So you see I cut off the little sprig because I didn't want, there was no way to get foam tape behind that tiny little piece. So I'm gluing that right down to the layout and just putting foam on the back of this little circle element here. So I'm scooching it over because it was covering up my little black squiggle hanging down. I went ahead and did the rest of those elements off camera, repeating that process. And now I'm going to pop her up on some foam tape. So I already put the little foam squares on the back side. We'll just get those peeled off. And then she can sit overlapping my photo just like so. So I'm not 100% sure how I feel about that white halo. I think if I had made it skinnier and it was just behind the lowercase letters of the word celebrate, it would have looked better, possibly. We'll never know. But next time I might try that instead. I'm just going around getting these little glitter hearts tacked down, and then I will still need to add my journaling. So I'll do that in just a moment. But first we need some bling. So I have this rose gold loose sequins, and I thought that is just too perfect. It matches the gold in the dress and the gold in that pattern paper perfectly. So I'm picking up with my jewel picker some of these sequins, and I'm just, you know, kind of incorporating them in and around our little party banner up top there, just to add some sparkle and shine. So I'm picking out the ones I want, and I'm trying to get 2 different sizes and tones of the rose gold. I will go in off camera and use the micro glue dots to adhere all the sequins down. And then I need to add my journaling. So I went ahead on my computer and pulled up Microsoft Word, added a text box and sized it to the size I want. And then I just print this out and use my little photo trimmer here to cut them into strips. I really like doing this strip journaling because it just adds a lot of character and you can kind of stagger them and it fills a space. And I like typing it because it looks nice and tidy. So when you're putting them down, make sure you have them in the right order because I have done that before. I've actually glued them down and then realized it afterwards. I'm like, oh no, how am I going to fix that? I don't like how close these journaling strips are to the bottom of my layout. It just kind of looks off to me. So I am going to bump those up. So you can see I'm overlapping my picture on the bottom there, and then it gives more room at the bottom. And I think that's just more visually appealing. I'm using my tweezers to pick those up and then just a little bead of liquid glue so I can slide them into place, making sure they're straight before they are permanently adhered. And my journaling just kind of talks about, you know, our costumes and where we were at, just basically the details of the party. As I said before, we don't get to wear costumes very often, so I thought this was super fun. There is a ring on the party girl's finger here, and I thought, oh, these little bitty sparkles are going to work, and it totally fits perfect. I don't know if you guys will be able to see that, but it looks really cool. I added more sequins above her and then again on the left around the heart there, just to kind of create that visual triangle with the sequins. And I love the sparkle and shine. And I think this little banner element turned out really fun. I like that. Check out the description box below for all the details on National Scrapbooking Day. You guys are going to want to get in on that. If you're not already a subscriber, I would love to have you. Here's another video I think you might enjoy. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.